All right, well, as is customary, I started it when I wasn't actually ready, but, close enough. So, I have been doing a lot with learning the XY. I finally actually, read the guide yesterday. And so I'm getting a better hang of it. But I know almost everything there is to know about the OPZ. I'm still always learning stuff, but I know I've got a really good handle on it. So I want to talk about the differences between the Z and the XY, because, yeah, it is just an upgraded Z, but it's more like they took the OPZ and made that one layer of a much larger thing. So, anyway, I just wanted to kind of go through a few big differences that have stood out to me so far, especially because today I spent some time taking a song that I was um, I spent some time today. Sorry, I spent a little bit of time today taking a song that I was working on my OPZ and transferring it over here. You can't directly transfer it, so I was having to go step by step. I could have just recorded the Midi over, but I wanted to keep the step components and stuff. So I'm still already getting on tangents. So first of all, huge differences, I would say, one of the hugest differences would be OPZ has 10 projects here, and each project can have 16 different patterns, and you can chain those patterns together in like 16 ways. There's a few downsides of it. One is that if you have a pattern chain, you can tell which patterns are included, but you absolutely cannot tell the order that they're in. Like if you're just eyeballing it, there's no way to tell. But if you have, if you, on the XY, on the other hand, you actually have this full kind of project menu where you can duplicate projects, you can look at the save history. You do have to manually save instead of, being able to just auto save. But I just think it's pretty, it's a lot more in depth. You can rename your projects. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just a very, very different experience because the other side of that is that it's like nowhere near as fast, right? Because on OPZ, it's just like, okay, copy all the settings from this pattern to this pattern, or copy this track from this pattern to this pattern, or just copy this pattern straight over. But that's just not the case on XY. It's a little bit more involved. Sorry, is my audio clipping? Let's see. Oh, yep. Well, anyway, so that's just going to be like high level comparison is that there's a lot of projects you can save on XY, but yeah, it's a more, thanks from, it's a more like, it's because it's more involved, it's just not as fast. So anyway, let's talk about the other stuff, because nearly everything has actually changed at this point. So beyond the projects, the tracks, there are still 16 tracks divided into two sections. The first 8 are in this first section, and the second 8 are here. And there's a lot of overlap, but there are some differences. So the biggest difference is that in this first section, you can put any engine on this. And I'm not going to be able to go into all of the differences, but the difference between X, Y, and Z is pretty tremendous, like at every single step. So, for example, on Z, you have, a regular keyboard and you can transpose, and there is apparently a hidden feature that you can change the transposition or the tuning of the whole thing a little bit, like offset it. But on XY, you have, like, for each track here, you can change the tuning. And so that's equal temperament, and they have explanations as to like what all these different tunings are. But you can also have user tunings where you can actually manually set the frequency for every key. So I have like zero interest in that, but my point is that that's like way beyond what you could do with the Z with a lot of this stuff. And so I don't need to go into every single difference, but you can assign different polyphony to different tracks, and you can allocate the 24 voices differently. Similarly, one of the coolest things is when it comes to, where are we? What am I thinking? First of all, yeah, you can absolutely add step components to the effects tracks, so that's pretty neat. I haven't really gotten that far. And let's just mess around here. So let's make it a little bit bigger. So what happens if we parameter lock? Actually, this is one of the coolest things that I learned from actually reading the manual, is that it only step records the different automations and stuff, but on the Z you are able, or the Z on the XY, you are able to change the shape, and that's going to smooth it out between the 2 points. So instead of that kind of harsh difference, we're going to see these move a little bit more smoothly. Anyway, I just think that's really cool. So we've got, like, that ability makes a huge difference for me, because especially when I use something with like step length of 8 on the Z, I generally don't record any automation because I don't want to take huge jumps, but I might, do some parameter locking of like the LFO or something like that. But here, being able to smooth it out makes a huge difference. So functionally, again, like, the Z is faster because there are way fewer options and choices, but XY just, it's kind of, it really feels more like a workstation instead of like a beat maker type thing. I mean, that they can both do both, Okay, let's talk about, what else was I going to compare? Oh, Midi. You can't even really compare them. OPZ has, you can set the outgoing Midi track for each of these 16 tracks, and you can enable or disable it. There are 16 CC that you can send out for the first 8 tracks. The last page is kind of sketchy, so you can only really rely on 12 of them. But that just kind of pales in comparison here, where you have fewer CCs that you can control per track. Like, let's go to an instrument track here, and we already have this up. So this is what an instrument track would look like, just sending out Midi. I can change which CCs are which, and I can change the values being sent out of them, but I only get 2 sets of 4. So that's fewer than OPZ has, but this is different per project, and I believe you can change this between scenes or patterns on XY. So it's just like a huge difference. If you go to the configuration of this project, you can set the outgoing, I believe this is outgoing, I could be wrong, Midi track for each of the 16 tracks. In the global settings here, you're able to change which is the active track channel. So OPZ, it's always 1, and you can just enable or disable it. But on XY, you can be like, oh, I want 16. Let me move the chat over to the main window here, because I'm not seeing the messages. Here we go. Okay, so first question is, can you send program change or specific control change messages on XY? Yeah, so I don't do much with that. I know that it's capable of it. I know you can send like bank and program messages here, but I don't know like when it triggers that, how that works, or any of that stuff. But you can definitely send specific CC messages. So I could here, let's see. So this is CC1. I could sequence it to send, 2, 10, 3, and go through and see that. Another big difference is they have made it so that when you hold down record, one of the most annoying things on OPZ is that if I hold down this note, I can see these steps. And if I hold down record and hit a note, it registers it, but it doesn't show me what notes on that step. And I'm happy to say that they fixed that. So it shows you the automation. It shows you any notes on that step will actually highlight on the keyboard. It is way better. Let's see. I see 2 questions here. Polyphony per step. So I think that this has better polyphony per step. I haven't done much testing with that. Actually, let's go ahead and set up the Bluetooth real quick, and we might as well get that going. There. So, man, that's the fastest I've ever done that. I don't want to give the impression that that's like my normal speed. Oops. Okay, so polyphony per step. Let's see what we're able to send to OPZ from here, from the XY. So let's make sure it's working. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So that's sending what we want it to send. So let's do something. Let me actually get really extreme here. But where is that setting again? Is that in the config? Yeah. That's the thing. There's a lot more menus on this. So that's why like OPZ is going to win the speed battle every single time, because it's like you don't have to remember which menu or sub menu to go to set your setting. It's just like you press the combination, you know? So I'm going to make it so track, or no, wait, voices. That's what I'm looking for. Track 5 has one voice. Let's just force it to have one voice, and let's see what the per step is in this case. And this is for outgoing Midi too. So let's make this 16 steps. Terribly ugly, I know, but I'm just trying to see if it sends the notes. Looks like it's, I mean, that's way more than it normally would. So I don't know how much it saves per step. It seems to be much better, and I did some like a few tests early on that suggested it was a lot better, but I haven't really pushed that too far. I'm still like wrapping my head around just like the basics of this thing. Let's see. What's the fourth page of the Midi engine? Fourth page is LFO, and let's actually see. I kind of ran out of patience with this the other day, so let's send the. Oh, jeez, is this the Midi one? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, so this was it. Okay. So let's see if we can make this like really visible. I'm very confused by this, I'll be honest. So check this out. If I'm changing the destination, oh, it's really hard for me to see. Give me a second. Let me make a full screen preview here. Okay, yeah, so in theory you can do this, but if you look at the destination, I don't get what it's telling me it's sending it to. Attack? There's no envelope here, you know? So is it referring to the first page where the envelope would be? And if that's the case, then attack would be the first one, right? So it shouldn't be this, like, brain intensive, man. So obviously they respond like that, but I don't know how to get the Midi to respond, or how to be able to tell. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just kind of. Or is this? Yeah, if anybody has ideas, that would be great. But yeah, I seriously can't tell. Like what that's supposed to do. There is a separate MIDI track over under the control tracks, but I was messing with that yesterday and was having a lot of the same sort of issues. Yeah, like, what are you talking about? The destination is the filter for the auxiliary track that doesn't exist. Anyway, what else is different between them? Let's see. Oh, sampling. Sampling has dramatically changed. Like, you absolutely can't, you can't compare them in a lot of stuff, but the sampling engine, like especially the multi-sampler, is just, there's nothing similar to it on OPZ. But OPXY, just like even the synth engines, just in my opinion, sound better. Let's just load up some different presets here. And so they also have the presets I don't see a way of editing a preset's info to organize these yourself, but at least they have the original, their presets, the factory ones, organized between category, or you can view it through engine, which I think is pretty helpful to have both of those. But like, I don't like the sound of organs, and I even like this. Oh, you know why? I forgot that I did that I made this track only have one voice. Let's screw that up. There we go. Okay. And I forgot, so to get really technical again, my favorite thing to do, the like signal path on OPZ is kind of underappreciated. There's several levels. There's like track gain, track level, then there's a couple sends to tape, then possibly also to FX1 and FX2. There's the drive and the chorus on the master track, but and then there's like the mixer level. And they've actually taken that to the absolute extreme on the XY. And so again, this is going to like come at the cost of how quick you can move. But I bring up the mixer here, and from the mixer page, unlike from the mixer on OPZ, yes, I can mute a track. I can select this track and then I can mute it. There we go. We don't need that for now. But so I can mute that track. I can change its panning. It's just a lot easier to do a lot of stuff. You can change its sends and so on and so forth. But there's also another layer here of an EQ that's kind of like the fields. And hey, good to see y'all. I was going to say, it also has a saturator, which I didn't really appreciate before. And you can push it. Or what if we max this out on those, but make it very small? Let's see. I haven't been looking at the chat at all. Give me one. Oh, because I was just building to saying I like the master compressor on this. Like as usual, I think that they did a pretty good job with it. Let's just reset all these and we'll go from there. Let me turn this off. Oh, and so I looked it up, and they automatically separate the percussion tracks based on whether you loaded a drum kit or not. So it's not just 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. They actually have some way of identifying which is which. Little downside is that I like to put samples on the drum samples, and recorded samples, field recordings or whatever. And the issue there is that it's probably going to boost it along with the drums. There's also the compressor, which sounds, in my opinion, better than I've heard from the Z. I don't have the patience to like side-by-side compare. Well, could we do that? Let's give it a try. Why not? Whatever. I feel like I have to. Oh wait, but we're gonna hear it through this. So never mind. Ignore that. I'm not gonna compare like the sounds exactly. It's just that there's so many different like expansions. So let's see. Let me catch up on questions here. Let me answer things as quick as I could. Oh, I did not notice there was already a question about the compressor. So yeah, I think it's good, but yeah, once again, just one knob. But there's a lot of gain staging on here. Just like they added a few more kind of steps. There's like preset volume and things like that. Have I played with the Maestro / Brain thing yet? No, I really can't emphasize enough how much I didn't like and don't like the master transposition on OPZ. I think it often gets it wrong, and I am just like a weird control freak with it. So I've been hesitant to go into the master track very much, but I'm also like, it's every layer is so much deeper that I'm still just even learning the differences in the sequencer. Because there's differences in the sequencer, like I said, where you can see the actual steps and stuff. 1 second. And also the way that you can like put notes down is a little different, because you can now just like play a chord, and now that chord is right there. And that's just, so there's a few, like they've made everything a little bit better. But at the cost of the speed and the like portability. Let's see. How fast can you mute stuff one by one? Fairly slowly, I think. I mean, let's give it a try, but there are scenes though, similar to on the KO2. Oops, that's not what I intended to do. There are scenes though, if you have. Oops, didn't mean to go into song mode, whatever. I'll also say that like OPZ is just so much faster. You sometimes literally have to wait for samples to load up on XY, and so it's like way more flexible, but it's just, yeah, I'm gonna keep harping on that. Like the speed is very different. This is much smaller kind of scope, but with much faster and more portable. So let's go here and let's connect. There we go. Okay, so we're back. Let's go to the arranger, and oh boy, yeah, I did not mean to reattach this, did I? And it's accepting, is it accepting MIDI from the, what is happening? Something awful is happening there. I don't know if I screwed something up or if it screwed something up, but I'm going to restart it one more time and hope for the best, and if not, I'll just reload an old, actually let's just reload an old version of this now. Oh, they have no history of it because I haven't saved it. Okay, whatever. Let's just load it as it is. Okay. So, in terms of mute groups, I'm sure you could do it pretty quickly by, you can like type in, you can change between different scenes here, and you could also like type in different scene numbers or whatever. I don't know, that's not really my thing too much, but it does not seem nearly as fast as it was on OPZ, but we'll see. Or I keep saying XZ instead of XY, I think, my bad, but let's see. How are the punch-in effects? They are pretty cool. They're basically the same, but the track is a little bit more flexible, so you can, and we could talk about OPZ as much as we want, it's just, I'm assuming you have a baseline knowledge of OPZ if you tuned into this. But the punch-in effects here, they're this now, but it's kind of cool. So this was the dot display that they kept teasing, and it turned out that it was this. So I think that's actually kind of cool. But they've used this then to animate all these other punch-in effects. So ping pong. And so because you can actually make this 4 bars, unlike just 1 bar on OPZ, I'd always said I prefer that because you don't have to scroll through pages, and I still stand by that. But if you really want to just say, let's add 4 pages and let's, make it this very long, relatively long pattern, you can just go through a chord. Okay, so now I've got this whole thing, and if you want to add step components, you can add step components to these. The step components are almost the same, but there are a few differences. Let's see. Let me catch up on questions here. Oh yeah, okay, so sorry. When I say slow, I mean slow compared to how fast I am on OPZ, and that is something I've been practicing for a couple years now. So it's not like this is particularly slow in my opinion, especially compared to like a couple other groove boxes I've used. Like it's just for teenage engineering standards of you hit the power switch, it's on immediately, samples are immediate, etc. It's just a little bit slower than that. So like for instance, if I go to an instrument track here, and let's say that I want to load in a drum kit, and on this one I'm going to load in a one shot of a kick. That's not bad, right? That's pretty quick, right? But if you're a weirdo like me, and you decide that you're going to load up, I guess you could just load it all from here, couldn't you? If you decide that you're going to record a bunch of weird radio dramas, well, I will say with a lot of confidence that a second ago, why were those the same? Yeah, so I've had a lot more, I don't know if they're glitches or if it's just delays or if I'm just moving too fast for the XY right now, but I've had a lot of moments where I've run into stuff where I'm like, this is just behaving kind of unpredictably, and I'm pretty sure it's not because I'm not familiar with it, but taking a very long time to load these samples. Several samples are missing from here now. So I had 1 and 4 and 6. I had those samples for sure, and I was having trouble with them last time. So I don't know what happened since I last went through this folder, but yeah, who knows? It's a little faster now. Oh, is it? Okay, good. Got worried it got really blurry or something. Okay, so let's see. How long can it sample? I think it's just the 20 seconds, but here's why I'm a little confused by that, because if I go here, and I don't know, whatever. If I just talk into this for a while, or if we just wait this whole time, I mean, I guess I could be playing some instrument or something, but cool. It'll get to 20 seconds, but it's gonna stop at like the halfway mark. So I'm like, can you do 40 seconds somehow? Is there some trick I don't understand? Like, watch this. It ends right at 20 seconds, but that's like the halfway. I don't know. Let's see. So you might be able to then do that. I don't know if you could do that live. But yeah, I'm not fully sure exactly what it's capable of with that. But it could do like at least 20-second loops, which isn't amazing. How many bars can a pattern be? It could be 4 bars / pages, and then you can make it each step take a whole bar, or you can make them take as little as I think that's 30 seconds, maybe. Anyway, so I'm getting sidetracked again. Let's see. Do the instrument tracks send MIDI out on individual channels? Yep. So that's also per project instead of on the Z where it was just like, that you've got one setting. So let's see. Do the instrument tracks send MIDI out on individual channels? Let's see. So I think that's config. Yeah. So you can actually do that for not just the instrument tracks, but also the auxiliary tracks. So if you want, you can set any of these to send MIDI out on any channel. Well, channels 1 through 16. And let's see. So when it comes to recording something for 20 seconds and then making multiple copies of it, let's give that a try. I've been a little disappointed with how unusual, or not unusual, but like how unpredictable some of this has been. So let's see if we can load, which one? I have no idea what the hell to load here. Oh, my poor cat. Let's load people talking shit at the basketball court. So what if I do that there, and then what if I don't know that there's a way of like copying and pasting. There's got to be something. But you'll notice also like the titles spill over and stuff. Which one was that? It says 23. So you could load it on multiple spots. Oops. Man, sorry, I'm still very much getting my bearings here. Let me change these to be in the mute group so they all cut each other off. So oh, that's as loud as it gets. So you could have them a little bit different on both of them, but I don't know if there's an easy way of loading the same sample to multiple. Let's see.
That was shifty. That was a bad fit. Too little. Too little.
Yeah, that might be. Okay, so let's see what else. Let's just go through some of the synth engines, because again, those are like actually fairly impressive. Let's just make a song. Why not? So we'll start with a beautiful unnamed song. Let's do some drums. I've gotten a little bit better at understanding how to kind of use the sequencer a bit faster, because there are some differences with the Z. Like I said, you can actually just hold down multiple notes and it'll put those pairs of notes on these steps. I didn't do that for this first one though. Oops. But similarly, I can actually hold down a key and then hold record, and I can see which steps that key is on. So none, that one, that step, none, those steps. So it's kind of a neat feature, and it makes it a lot easier to like layer these things. So before, I really like to just put, kick on one track, snare on one, and hi-hat on the other. And I probably will do that here because you have to put them all through the same filter. But if I want to like have kind of a quick drum break or something like that on its own track, that's totally an option. So I don't know if you guys can hear, my poor cat thinks that it's 6:30 and it's not quite 6:30 yet. So let's see what we could do. So let's make it so that this is there. And let's just keep it this simple for now, actually. Why not? And we will, let's just add some weird stuff here. Every fourth time, or every eighth time, let's make that repeat 5 times, why the hell not? And jump to the current spot. So I should have done 4, but we're gonna wait for the 8th time to see how it handles this. Should play this 5 times. That wasn't that great, but it was fine. So how about instead we're going to do on the 4th time, it's going to play this twice and multiply 2. Oh, hey, Chord Master. I'm going to just quickly pull up a bass here. I like the bass presets that they have so far. Yeah, sure, why not? And oh, so I am going to change this to be, oh, it should already be mono. Interesting. Oh, legato makes more sense. Yeah, let's see what this sounds like. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the master track real quick and change this balance here between all this. Then go to the mixer. Let's open up the bass track there and lower it a bit. So let's go back here, and now at this point, let's see what we could do. Oh yeah, I was gonna step sequence some changes and stuff, and let's try to see. So this is at 99. Let's make sure it's at 99, and let's bring it. Why is it not letting me change that? Is that attached to the LFO? No, right. So that's another thing that's kind of weird to me, is it seems like it expects you to have a note unless you're recording them. And that, I think, is a glitch. I'm like probably, at some point I need to rewatch some of these videos and then like make notes, and then I'm going to send them to Tobias. But I've noticed, yeah, some weird behaviors like that. So let's just start here. We'll just go. This will be dramatically different between those. Oh, you might not be able to hear that because it's a stereo thing. So let's give this a try another one. Oh yeah, ratio makes way more sense to mess with. Let's, I'm going to increase the width of this. So just for fun, let's just add some of the parameter spark random. Oh, so one difference is when it comes to step components, most have stayed the same and most of the values are the same, except they took away jump zero, which makes my life a lot easier in terms of making these videos. And they made it so that the parameter sparks have an every 9th option now. And then 0 is random. So I'm just going to have the parameters, but they're not parameter lock, they're skip parameters. Anyway, it should now be randomizing which of those it's applying at which time. Let's make the stereo the same the whole time. I'm just going to keep recording this as we go through, because I think that's throwing me off a bit. There we go. And so if I really wanted to, I could then make this even more sort of specific. I don't know. Oh no, let's not do that right now. Let's mess around with something else instead. Let's play with the, like, Maestro. Well, this is already kind of the full mix, even with just these couple elements, huh? let's see what we could add here. Let's go to the multi-sampler. Oh, this is going to sound horrible. I did a terrible job sampling my harmonica earlier. Yeah, let's not do that. That's terrible. Let's go to the refelt piano. Oh, something else I love about this is that, like, it collapses when it collapses the presets by engine, it, you know, merges your stuff with your presets with the defaults, which I think is actually kind of helpful. But there's no way of like removing the defaults or the factory stuff. Let's see. Is Master Tune and Hertz available under config settings? Oh wait, give me a sec. Let's see. I don't know if I missed any more questions, sorry. But yeah, I'll answer. So is Master Tune and Hertz available under the config settings? I think so. Let's see. So general, global transpose. I wonder if there may be that option, to be honest, but I just like might not know where it's at. I do know though that you can, for each track, change some of the tuning options, but that's not quite the same. So that's a good question. I don't know. I don't really play with that sort of thing typically. But let's see. So let's just add a really kind of small sound, and I gotta go in a second, but okay, so let's throw the Maestro on here. Let's see kind of what it does. So I don't know what all it uses to determine all this. So let's put Maestro. I think it's supposed to make chords, maybe, or maybe it works similar to an arpeggiator. What did I even play? So I played. Oh, right. I just did descending. Let's change that. Now that we're all used to that. Man, I had one that seemed to help out with the Maestro. Oh, hold a track number, hold shift, tap minus, see if it transposes. Yeah, it seemed to transpose it down. Interesting. So, oops. While we're here, why don't we just check out the brain while things are already sounding bad? Okay, no, let's not get that far ourselves. Oh, so that's one of the things I'm also interested in, is that you're able to start playing it from here, and it'll kind of show you what it sounds like at first, give you a preview. Similarly, for effects tracks, you don't have to hold shift anymore to hear the last instrument you played. It'll just preview it automatically. Nothing super new with the effects, I don't think. Oh wait, but it is a little bit different with the sends and stuff. Which one are we sending from? 3? What is is that my... Oh, and then I can route it from here into the reverb. didn't sound like it muted it, but I don't know. Maybe it's similar to that. Oh, also, one of the most exciting things I want to talk about before I leave just imminently, like I keep saying, Pitchbend works. And it feels to me like it's here to stay, and the reason I'm saying that is because, oh, come on. Oh, I'm just being dumb. Okay. The reason I believe that is because there's, like, no give. So instead of, like, the squishiness, I guess, that I always thought that, like, OPZ had, this one is, you just are able to press and stuff. But the other problem is that it is, it's very configurable, so I don't think that we can hear it super well. Yeah. So there's a lot of menu stuff that I still don't quite know yet. And that's probably when I'm going to leave. So, yeah, I just wanted to show a very kind of brief thought from somebody with a lot of perspective on the OPZ as to, like, what the differences are. This was pretty chaotic. I hope you don't mind it. And thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time.